$150,000. You built that quietly, consistently, across years of decisions that most people around you are not making. You automated contributions while others spent freely. You held positions while others panic sold. You stayed patient while the culture around you celebrated consumption and called it living. And now the number is real, $150,000. Sitting in accounts you built from nothing. Here is what nobody warns you about at this exact milestone. This is the most financially dangerous moment of your entire wealth-building journey. Not because anything bad has happened, because something good has, and the way the human brain responds to that specific kind of good, at that specific number, produces a decision pattern so predictable, so consistent across income levels and demographics, that financial researchers have documented it repeatedly. If you like contents like this, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Most people at $150,000 make one quiet decision, sometimes consciously, often not, that silently restructures the next decade of their financial life. Not dramatically, not visibly, just permanently. Alex, $150,000 net worth. Age 34. The number crosses on a Tuesday. No celebration. No announcement. Alex checks the portfolio balance during a lunch break, sees the figure, closes the app, and goes back to work. That evening, one decision gets made. A quiet one. Alex increases the monthly investment contribution by $400. The exact amount freed up after paying off the last remaining car note 6 weeks earlier. The raise that came in January gets split immediately. 70% automated into investments, 30% absorbed into lifestyle. The $150,000 gets left alone. No reallocation. No celebration purchase. No reward for the discipline that built it. The internal logic is straightforward. The machine is working. The only intelligent move is to leave the machine running and add more fuel. From the outside, nothing changes. Same apartment, same social life, same unremarkable Tuesday evenings. But underneath the surface, $150,000 just became the base of something that will look completely different in 10 years, and a decision that made it so took approximately 4 minutes. Taylor, $150,000 net worth. Age 34. Same number, same Tuesday, same years of discipline, and deferred gratification that built it. But the internal conversation sounds different. I have been responsible for years. I have sacrificed the vacations, the upgrades, the experiences I kept putting off. I have watched people around me live freely while I automated contributions and held the line. $150,000 is proof that the system works. And proof deserves acknowledgement. The house search starts that weekend. Not irresponsible, reasonable. A $420,000 property with a $84,000 down payment drawn from the portfolio. A mortgage that stretches but does not break the monthly budget. A decision that feels like graduation. From renter to owner, from building towards something to actually having something. Every financial advisor says homeownership builds wealth. Every family member calls it the right move. Every cultural signal available confirms that this is what $150,000 is supposed to unlock. The logic is airtight. The timing is devastating. 3 years later. Age 37. Alex's portfolio has crossed $247,000. The $150,000 base, untouched, compounding uninterrupted, has grown by nearly $60,000 in market returns alone. The additional $400 monthly contribution has stacked another $18,000 on top. The machine kept running because nothing interrupted it. There is no dramatic lifestyle change visible from the outside, but the internal financial position has shifted permanently. Alex now has enough invested that the portfolio's annual average growth exceeds $24,000, more than $2,000 every month, generated without a single hour of additional work. Taylor, age 37. Net worth, technically higher on paper, mostly locked in home equity that cannot be accessed without borrowing against it or selling. But the liquid investable portfolio tells the real story. After the down payment withdrawal, Closing costs, moving expenses, and the cascade of immediate homeownership costs, the new roof, the HVAC service, the appliance replacements. The investment portfolio never recovered its pre-purchase momentum. Monthly contributions shrank under mortgage pressure. The compounding machine slowed. The gap between Alex and Taylor, invisible at 34, is becoming quietly, measurably real. By age 40, the split is no longer subtle. Alex's portfolio sits at $378,000. The compounding curve has reached a phase where annual growth alone, without a single additional contribution, produces roughly $37,000 per year in average returns. That is over $3,000 every month generated entirely by the uninterrupted base that never got touched at $150,000. Financial optionality has arrived quietly. A job change is survivable. A sabbatical is calculable. An emergency is inconvenient rather than catastrophic. The number is not retirement, but it is something equally powerful. It is the point where money stops being a source of daily anxiety and starts being a source of genuine leverage. Taylor, age 40. Home equity, approximately $95,000 on paper. Liquid investable portfolio, $67,000. 6 years of reduced contributions, maintenance costs, and a property tax increase that arrived 18 months after closing have kept the investment engine running at a fraction of its original momentum. To reach Alex's position today, Taylor would need to invest over $2,200 every single month for the next 8 consecutive years, without interruption, without a single unplanned expense touching the portfolio. The gap that opened quietly at 34 is now mathematically enormous. Alex, age 44. Not described in portfolio numbers, described in lived experience. Alex's employer announces a restructuring, significant layoffs, the kind of meeting that empties the color from most people's faces. Alex feels something different in that room, not invincibility, but distance. The portfolio has crossed $500,000. A job loss at this point is a transition, not a crisis. Alex negotiates an exit package from a position of quiet leverage that has nothing to do with seniority and everything to do with a contribution increase made on a Tuesday 10 years earlier. The next role pays $22,000 more annually. Alex took the time to find it properly, not desperately. Taylor, age 44. Still in the house. Still genuinely proud of it. The neighborhood appreciated. The equity grew, by conventional measures. The decision looks defensible, even smart, but the weight is specific and constant. The mortgage, the maintenance, the property taxes, the HOA increase that arrived without warning last spring. Every large financial decision still gets filtered to the same quiet pressure. The portfolio is real but constrained. Options exist, but narrowly. 2 people, same starting point at 34. Completely different financial lives at 44. Built not by income, by one quiet decision made at $150,000. The decision Taylor made at 34 was not a bad decision. It was a premature one. Homeownership builds wealth. That part is true. But homeownership at the exact moment your compounding engine reaches critical mass, funded by withdrawing a base that took years to build, at a price point that compresses your monthly investment capacity for the next decade. That sequence is what quietly destroys a timeline. The lesson is not don't buy a house. The lesson is that $150,000 is not an arrival point. It is a compounding threshold, the exact moment the machine starts generating meaningful returns on its own. Interrupting that machine at precisely this moment, for any reason, carries a cost that never appears on a closing disclosure. Alex did not make a smarter decision. Alex made a sequence one. The house, the upgrade, the reward, none of those things are wrong. The timing of when they come relative to the compounding curve is everything. Mathematics does not grade your reasoning. It compounds your sequencing. And the sequence that begins at $150,000 determines more about your financial future than almost any decision that follows it. Both paths are still available to you. Not a version of Alex's path that requires starting over. The actual path, from wherever your portfolio sits right now. The compounding curve does not reset. It does not punish late starts with permanent disadvantage. It rewards the next uninterrupted decade with the same mathematical consistency it rewarded Alex's. Here's the one question worth sitting with after this video. If you are approaching $150,000 or already past it, what decision are you currently rationalizing that would interrupt the compounding engine at the exact moment it is reaching critical mass? Not a bad decision. A premature one. A reward that is real but mistimed. An upgrade that is deserved but sequenced wrong. The machine you built does not need a withdrawal right now. It needs fuel and uninterrupted time. Every milestone has a correct next move. At $150,000, that move is not celebration. It is continuation, quiet, automated, and completely unglamorous in a way that produces results nothing else can replicate. If this reframed how you see your next financial decision, subscribe, because this is exactly the conversation we have every single week.